Rainbow Brite, see the shining light. Yes, I'm gonna take you to Rainbow Brite. Welcome to Pegwarmers. I'm Kevin, and I'm here to talk about toys. Today, we're talking about Rainbow Brite. This is a popular brand from the 80s that doesn't get talked about enough. Toy makers The Loyal Subjects recently got the license to Rainbow Brite and Strawberry Shortcake, and I am a huge Rainbow Brite fan. I have a bunch of Rainbow Brite toys from the 80s from when I was a kid. I've collected other ancillary merchandise. It is certainly not my main collection, but I'm a fan. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the cartoon. I think it's a lot of fun, and the movie Rainbow Brite and the Star Stealer is fantastic. The Loyal Subjects is promoting the 40th anniversary of Rainbow Brite. I think that's the anniversary of the animated series, because I think some of the toys came out earlier than that, and she first premiered through Hallmark on cards. This box contains the large Rainbow Brite doll. They're going for that 80s nostalgia. This is very much what the packaging looked like on the vintage toys. I have an original Murky Dismal, the bad guy from Rainbow Brite, sealed in his package. Obviously, they didn't do the same shape, but the front view, the shelf view of these products is so similar. It's just fantastic. The Loyal Subjects also sent over the fashion doll version of Rainbow Brite from their line. This is kind of like a She-Ra figure. It's a posable action figure or doll. It has rooted hair. It has fashion, like cloth clothing. It relies a little bit more on the clothing. It's a little more doll-oriented than She-Ra, but the She-Ra figures had their swappable clothes. I was just talking about the Loyal Subjects in my recent episode about memorabilia and how you display collectibles, because I had one of their little Green Ranger action figures on my knick-knack shelf. I didn't realize that it was going to back up to this episode, but it's kind of a nice little segue. The Loyal Subjects have been making small action figures, little vinyl guys, and then later more articulated figures for quite a while with lots of different brands, including My Little Pony and He-Man and G.I. Joe. So they're just sort of the right place to be doing a lot of cool 80s brands. They've also got the Ninja Turtles license right now. Kind of everybody has the Ninja Turtle license, but they're doing stuff based on the IDW comics. So I've got Rainbow Brite out of her box. She is a plush doll. Obviously, you know, she can't be posed or stood up without like a doll stand. She has her little fabric dress on with the awesome, super reflective material, which is super retro. Makes me think back to the vintage toy so much. She's got very fine yarn hair, kind of a hard thing to work with. You don't want to take that ribbon out, or at least I don't have the skills to do anything with it if I did take it out. But it's definitely oriented like the show. She's got the bangs, she's got the high ponytail, she's got a little ribbon there. The front of her dress features the little star rainbow logo. In the cartoon show, it's actually a belt that's removable that gives her some of her special powers to bring color to the world and everything. But I just think she looks fantastic. Very retro-inspired. She's got kind of fuller cheeks, maybe, in a way, than the old one. She's got her little star mark. I don't know if they ever explained the star in the cartoon, but in the old commercials that used the Over the Rainbow theme song that they reworked for Rainbow Brite, they would always mention, she's got her little star, as if it was like look for the mark of Jurassic Park, like branding this doll so other people couldn't hone in on the rainbow theory.
Oh, she's beautiful. Look at her hair and a purple star.
She looks really good. I actually want to pull up a couple other Rainbow Brites so we can kind of compare them a little bit. Here we have her next to a vintage Rainbow Brite doll. A slightly different scale, but you can see just how similar they are. This vintage one is missing her little star emblem. It actually fell off. I have it. I want to see if I can find out what kind of glue might work to stick it back on there. But you can see just very similar with the boots and the leg warmers. She's got those colorful sleeves, the red dress with the blue metallic skirt, and of course that yarn hair, and the vintage one's a little bit of a mess. If you really want to see one that's a mess, though, you got to see my childhood Rainbow Brite. Holy smokes! Whew! This Rainbow Brite I have had since I was a kid. It was secondhand at the time, and so I never had her dress, but her hair is a hot mess. I think my sister put the barrette in it back in the 80s. She's like balding in the back, Hot mess, but I just love seeing these together. And really, the eyes have changed a little bit, just kind of the way they've drawn them, made them a little bit bigger. But otherwise, she does have a very similar look, and I think that's great. Here's the new Loyal Subjects Rainbow Brite alongside a Rainbow Brite doll sold by Hallmark stores in the 2010s. Again, you can see it's a different size. They tend to vary the scale a lot on Rainbow Brite, but very similar look. I think this new doll is fantastic. If you are looking for Rainbow Brite in your life, or you want to spread this brand to a child, this is a really great size for play, for snuggling. I think she's cool. Rainbow Brite also came with a small sticker sheet. It features a Rainbow Brite star background logo, Rainbow Brite and Twink in a cloud, some small Twink stickers, Rainbow Brite and Twink riding on Starlight, a classic image, as well as Rainbow Brite's pup. So why did I love Rainbow Brite as a kid? It was mostly for the bad guys. The cartoon show has Rainbow Brite and the Color Kids up against Murky Dismal and his doofus henchman Lurky. And the duo of Murky and Lurky was fantastic in the cartoon.
I love flowers.
I hate flowers. Yeah.
You had Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, voicing Murky, and you had Pat Fraley, the voice of Krang, voicing Lurky. Their designs are fantastic. Here's Murky Dismal. He's got his little bag that has a little storm cloud inside it. He's got this ridiculous hat with like a flap on it. He's got a little gray cape and his little grumpy light greenish blue face. And then the best character design ever, Lurky. This guy wears Converse sneakers. He's a giant fuzzball with antennas, the biggest nose you've ever seen, and little ping pong ball style eyes. I loved this guy as a kid. My mom went all over the place when I was 3 or 4 years old. For my birthday, I asked for Lurky and a wheelbarrow. And she had a whole lot of trouble finding me both of those presents. This is not my childhood Lurky. I don't know what happened to him. I picked this guy up at RetroCon a few years ago. It's just like this Murky Dismal I picked up at RetroCon a few years ago because he was in really great shape. But this is my childhood Lurky Dismal. You can see his face is dirty. He's missing his little lightning bolt on his chest. He managed to keep his cape, even though I used to take it off and put it on other toys sometimes. I had so much fun with these two guys. They were my favorites. They were the first 2 Rainbow Brite toys I had. Followed them up with Starlight. There was something about the female heroes with white horses in the 80s. I loved Swiftwind from She-Ra, and I loved Starlight from Rainbow Brite. This is my vintage childhood Starlight toy. It is not very white anymore. It's gotten dirty over the years. These braids, each hair section braided in color, is left over from the 80s. My sister braided these one time when the hair was a giant mess. And it's still like that today. Starlight has a little star on his forehead there, and I loved this character. You could stick Rainbow Brite on his back, and they could go ride the rainbow and have their adventures to fight Murky and Lurky with whatever plan they had to remove the color from the world. It was great. Like I mentioned before, I also have a sealed-in box Murky Dismal. So after I got the really nice, loose one, I came across a sealed Murky Dismal later, and I just couldn't resist buying him. Because, like I said, he's one of my favorite characters. Plus, the back of the box shows off a whole bunch of the other dolls from the line, and that was so nostalgic to see all of them, the way they promoted those figures on the back of the package. Super cool. Let's get back to the Loyal Subjects' new products, and then we'll finish off my collection of Rainbow Brite stuff. So again, the fashion doll comes in a fairly nostalgic-looking package here. It has blind box type windows on the back to open for different pack-in items. I'm going to take the doll out first, and then we'll check out those items. I think I can do it separately. Yeah, I'm just trying to be careful that the punch-out things don't shift. Alright, so we've got Rainbow Brite out of the package. This would have been fantastic when I used to do the stop-motion animated intros for RetroCon. I used to do these little commercials. She's a perfect size and has a decent amount of articulation to be able to have her walk around in the parking lot of the convention center or whatever kind of hijinks she would get up to with other action figures. So she has hair. It's rooted hair. It's not like the yarn of the other figure. I'm trying to fix it a little bit here. It got a little funny taken out of the package. But she does have the little bow. She's got her bangs. She has a little dress. The belt actually looks more like the color belt on this version, with the symbol down lower here. It looks more like suspenders and a belt than the doll-sized one. Her head can turn side to side. Her arms move at the shoulders, as well as at the elbows. She also has articulation at the wrists. So that's some really nice movement up there. She's got a twist at the waist that doesn't rotate too far, but gives her a little bit of extra posing there. And then she has hip joints that move out really far to the side, so she can karate kick. She's got articulation at the knees, so her knees can bend. And her boots here are actually like little rubber boots. They have a slit in the back, so you can take them on and off. Probably because, they use the same body for other characters in this line. Having a little trouble sneaking that off. I want to see if she had ankle articulation underneath there. Not that you could actually use it with the boots on. It does look like it's there, but I'm having a hard time taking the boot off, and I don't really want to mess with it too much. She's pretty cute. I think she's a decent representation. Again, the face, there's something a little bit different. I think it's mostly just the size of her eyes, or the distance of her eyes apart, is a little different than the vintage doll I grew up with, but, is very reminiscent of the animation and the brand in general. This version of Rainbow Brite came with another sticker sheet. We've got a sticker of Rainbow Brite. We've got a couple of the sprites. So that's fun. And let's check out her pack-in mystery box accessories. Number 1. Oh, we've got a comb. A little Rainbow Brite comb. It looks like her color belt star with the rainbow. And it's got the comb built into it. That is so 80s. All the She-Ra characters came with little combs. Perfect. Now, I can play hairdresser and fix her hair. There we go. Now she's looking good. Style that mane. Alright. Is this a headband? Looks like it's a rainbow headband with some stars on it. I'll try putting that on her. I guess this is just a new look for her. Maybe there's some sort of historical reference to this that I'm unaware of, like a little tiara, like a little crown. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to just set it up there or am I actually supposed to put it on like a headband. Further instruction is needed. Anyway, I don't want to mess up her hair too much. I have no idea how to restyle it. Box number 3. Yes! This is a really funny little accessory. It is a little twink purse. So Rainbow Brite comes with a little satchel that looks like Twink. I wonder if there was a Twink purse made back in the day for kids to play with. And that might be the inspiration for this. I have no idea, but that's cool. It hooks right on there. She can carry extra color crystals that way. Box number 4. This is the best one. She comes with a little plastic lunchbox that has a sticker on it with Rainbow Brite and Red Butler and some of the sprites. This looks exactly like a vintage Rainbow Brite lunchbox. I don't know if it opens. It looks like it has a real hinge. Yeah. A real working lunchbox. That is a cool accessory. Can she hold it? I don't think... Oh, yeah, this hand is. Posed for holding accessories. Beautiful. Very cool. This doll is, more on the action figure side. So I think this is really kind of neat for being able to put on a display somewhere, because she can stand on her own and balance. She can hold her little things. I don't think I own a Rainbow Brite lunchbox. My sister might have when we were kids. I don't have a Rainbow Brite lunchbox. My lunchbox collection is actually right behind me here. But I do have a Rainbow Brite cake pan. Do you guys know Winton, the company that made all those branded cake pans? They did a Rainbow Brite one. That's in my collection. All right, we checked out both of the Loyal Subjects items. What else is in my collection here? I've got the Rainbow Brite and Twink Funko Pop. Gotta have a Funko Pop. A little Starlight figurine. So one of the things I noticed is that this figure has blue hair first. So does this 2010s Starlight from Hallmark. Well, this one has purple and then blue, which the vintage had purple then blue hair also in its mane. But in the cartoon, the red hair is at the top of the mane. Just sort of an interesting thing that they can't kind of agree on. When I saw the Loyal Subjects fashion doll at Toy Fair, it instantly made me think of this Rainbow Brite doll that I have. Definitely a different scale, but similar kind of construction with it being a figure that can stand on its own, that has, you know, possibly removable boots and a cloth dress and everything like that. These have a lot of similarities to them. And again, that's part of what I think is so fun about these new toys from the Loyal Subjects. They're just so nostalgic. Oh, I actually have a Rainbow Brite Itty Bitty that operates the Masters of the Universe Dragon Walker in my display over here. And then this plush toy of Lucky, the green sprite. I don't actually know whether I got Lucky first or the bad guys first, but my sister and I each got a sprite. She got the yellow one and I got the green one at one point when we were kids, and I took this thing a lot of places with me. I remember having it on car rides to my grandparents' house and things like that. Just another weird, fun design. It always made me wonder if Lurky was like some strange version of a sprite. Could he be related? He has that fuzzball look, but his antennae are different. He doesn't have the little stars on top of his head. But all these guys are a lot of fun. And so I just sort of took you on a little tour of my Rainbow Brite collection, as well as showed off some new things from the Loyal Subjects. I know they're going to do some PVCs that I think are supposed to be at Five Below. I saw Starlight in those. I was excited for that. I haven't seen any bad guys, any sign of the bad guys in this line. So I am going to put that in here, Loyal Subjects. If you're watching, I know you guys are. Where are the bad guys? I need PVCs of Murky and Lurky. And maybe fashion dolls, too. That would be fantastic. Rainbow Brite was one of these shows like Care Bears that was on around the same time period that you just felt good by the end of the episode. You know, all the characters did the right thing and worked together to help somebody out, to you know, show they cared about each other. And that was a fun message to get as a kid. I know this wasn't a typical episode with me doing sort of like the new product review alongside the vintage showcase kind of thing, but I hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Leave a comment if you have a thought about the topic. There's some old Rainbow Brite videos on the channel here and there for other product that was released in the past. If you want to support the channel further, consider joining us on Patreon. Thanks for hanging on the peg with me.